Okay, so we're just going to go over question 22 on activity 5 so that you are clear on all of these keywords. Number 1, the keyword expand. Number 2, the keyword factorise. Number 3, the keyword simplify. And number 4, if we're asked to check our answers. So these are 4 very common terms used in algebra questions, and it's important we can recognise what each one of them means. Okay, so the question we're looking at today is a question that incorporates every single one of these keywords. So factorise, expand, simplify and check. So we're going to start off with number 1 here, which is factorise. So it says factorise the question x squared plus 9x plus 20. And whenever you see the word factorise, I need you to visualise the 4 different ways we can factorise. Okay, so I've written them here for you. The word factorise implies you must apply one of these methods. The first is taking out what's common. The second, grouping the terms. The third, quadratics. And the fourth is difference of 2 squares. Okay, so we're looking at this. I have a square, an x and a number, or a square, a letter and a number. And that always tells me that this is a quadratic. Okay, so your quadratics is your back-to-back brackets. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I have my back-to-back brackets as so. I'm going to circle 20 and I'm going to write the factors down of 20. So they are 20 and 1, 10 and 2, and 4 and 5. I also have to look here and see, well, what factors do I need to use on the coefficient of the x squared? And I actually, as it's just a 1, it's just 1x squared. I don't really need to think about this. I'm lucky. So I'll just be filling it in as x and x. Now I need to use some of these factors that will help me get a plus 9x. Okay, and as you practice these, you will get a lot quicker at them. And so I can see now, well, 4 plus 5 will give me plus 9x. And that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to place 4 here and a 5 here and a plus and a plus. I can do a little check. 4 times 4x is plus 4x, and x times 5 is plus 5x, and that does give me plus 9x, which is what I was looking for. So I just did a little quick check there. Okay, and you would do that in your rough work. Okay, so now I have done part 1, which asked me to factorise. Part 2 asks me to expand. So expand the following. Okay, so here I'm asked to expand x plus 1 bracket x squared plus 9x plus 20. And what that means is that actually means expand the brackets, multiply out these brackets. Now we learned a specific method of multiplication, and it was the box method. So I'm going to apply that here now. So expand means multiply. Okay, so I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller so I have more room and move this up. So I'm going to draw my box as so. Along the side here, remember doing this, we wrote side and top. Okay, so along the side here I'm going to have an x and I'm going to have a plus 1. And on the top here I'm going to have an x squared, a 9x, and a 20. Obviously they're all pluses, and I'm going to box multiply, work out the boxes by multiplying the terms. So in this one here I multiply the x by the x squared and I will get x cubed. Here I multiply the x by the 9x and I will get 9x squared. And here I multiply the x by the 20 and I get 20x. I'm then on to the second row down here, and I have x squared by 1, or 1 by x squared, and it'll just remain the same, x squared. 1 by 9x gives me just 9x, and this actually will be an easy line. And 1 by 20 will give me 20. Okay, so once I've worked out that, I need to bring my like terms together. So again, I'll just give myself a little bit more room. And I now have what's inside these. So these green terms here, I'm going to add them together. So I'll write them in black. I have x cubed plus 9x squared plus 20x, I'm just going across, plus the second answers I got was these three here, x squared plus 9x plus 20. And then obviously at this point, second years, you're noticing what you need to do. You need to bring your like terms together. Okay, so I have an x cubed, and I don't have any other x cubed, so that will be on its own, x cubed. I have a 9x squared and a 1x squared, remember, so that will give me 10x squared, so plus 10x squared. I have a 20x and a 9x, and if I add them together, that will give me 29x, and then on the last I have the plus 20. Okay, so the second part of that question asked me to expand out these two, which means multiply out. I've multiplied them out to get this. Okay, so just give myself a little bit more room. The third keyword we're looking for is hence simplify. So simplify all of this down, and this is what we're talking about, reducing this down as much as we can. Now, they're giving me x cubed plus 10x squared plus 29x plus 20. And actually, that's exactly what I have here. So it's all of this over x plus 4. Is there a way I can simplify this out? Well, what do I know? I know that all of this is really this, correct? Yeah? And I also know that this part is this. So I can rewrite all of this in a different way. It will still mean the same thing. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more room. And it is, if I think about it, x cubed plus 10x squared plus 29x plus 20 is really x plus 1, if I went back to it, times x squared plus 9x plus 20. So before I did my box multiplication, that was what that was. And if I was to take that on a step further, I would know, well, that all of this 9x squared plus 9x plus 20 is the same as this. So I could have x plus 1 times x plus 4 times x plus 5. Okay? And so that's a lot of the work done here. Let's go back. The question said, just zoom in, simplify all of this. So I've simplified that top line, right, to mean exactly what I've written here. And that's all over, as the question said, all over x plus 4. So what I can really say now is I can say, well, this x plus 4 cancels out with this. And in actual fact, my answer to simplifying that whole thing was x plus 1 times x plus 5. So that has answered my third part. Okay? Third part asked me to simplify this. I wrote it in a different way, and then I realized that the x plus 4 on the bottom crossed out. The last part of this question says, check your answer by part 3 by letting x equal 2. So I must check it to part 3 to see, does this work if I let x equal 2? All right, so we'll go a bit further down. So I'm saying that my answer to part 1 is x plus 1 bracket x plus 5. And if x equals 2, does that work? Well, it would be 2 plus 1 times 2 plus 5, and that would give me 3 times 7, which would give me 21. So let's see if I went back to the very start now, to this question here, and if I've done my simplifying all right, when I put in 2, I should get the exact same answer. So let's go and check that. So I have to bring things down here because I'm running out of space. So here's my question again. I'm going to place x as 2. So it will be 2 cubed minus 10 times 2 to be squared, plus 29 times 2, plus 20, all over 2 plus 4. So 2 cubed is 2 by 2 is 4, by 2 is 8, minus 2 squared is 4, and 4 tens are 40, plus 29 times 2 is 58, plus 20, all divided by 6. And there should be pluses the whole way down, just noticing that. So fill them in correctly. When I add 8 plus 40 plus 58 plus 20, I will get 126. Divide that by 6, and I get 21. So I got the same answer. So it means I've done everything right. So when you are doing question 23 tonight, okay, so an overview of everything that I've done. A lot of work in this. So first of all, Factorise, then I expanded the brackets, then I tried to use what I'd found to see if I could simplify in any way. Once I'd simplified, it told me to check and see what I got for my answer. In this case, I had to use x was equal to 2. And then I had to go back to the very start and check and see, right, well, if I'd put 2 in up here, what would I have gotten? And the answer still would have been 21. So you follow the exact same method for your question.